Okay, so in fact, what can we say? What is the digitalization? We say the computer has developed and the digitalization has also has its revolution. But in fact, what is exactly the digitalization? So we define the digitalization as the process of converting the text, the numbers, the sound, the phones, the photos, and the videos into data that can be processed, that can be stored, processed by digital devices. Okay. So we can say we convert everything into data, and the data can be processed by such kind of digital devices. So that means when we see this very beautiful picture from the computer, but in fact it is stored in the computer maybe like this, okay, in this pixel way. It is discreted, and each pixel was stored in the computer by its color, which is showing in these binary number strings. Different strings present a different color in a different pixel, and it constructs such kind of figures and shown to us as this. But inside the computer, it's supposed to be this. Okay. Also, we created nowadays like smart medicine, right? Smart hospitals, and in fact, you have digitalization like everything involved in your daily life. You email something, you deliver something, your smart city, smart home, smart hospital, everything, even the city, even the whole world, everything becomes digital. Okay. So we define the digitalization that we process everything, the whole world, from the analog world to the digital world. So it's a converting and representing, okay, how to present the word into the data we can process by these digital devices. Okay. So I remember I asked all of you to submit, answer the question, how many devices, how many computing devices, or how many digital devices you own. And I encouraged all of you to think that not only the obvious one, like your smartphone, like a computer, but also we have other unobvious ones. So in fact, I listed here, okay? Not only the computer, the keyboard, mouse, pointer, printer, we have also others, okay? And in fact, we have statistics say that the average American consumer owns more than 24 digital devices. This number shows that it's much more than you imagine, or you think you have only maybe within 5 devices. But in fact, the influence or the impact is much more than what you thought. Okay, anyway, the digital revolution is an ongoing process of social, political, and economic change brought about by digital technology, such as computer and internet. And the technology driving the digital revolution is based on the digital electrics and the idea that electrical signals can represent data, such as numbers, words, pictures, and music. And we can basically divide the digital revolution into 3 phases. Beginning with big, expensive, standalone computers, it's the first phase, and progress into today's digital world, in which small, inexpensive digital devices are everywhere. Each of you have such kind of digital devices, right? So you can see the revolution from this very big to this very small, right? So this is how the technology affect today's our human life, the technology developed. And then okay, so then we can see we can divide these 4 digital revolution period through this, you can see the development from the stage 1 to the stage 4. So like how we firstly we process the data. And so the first stage we call it data processing stage. And to the second stage, we call it personal computing stage. And the third stage, we call it networked computing stage. And nowadays, it's cloud computing stage. And for these 4 stages, the computer also, the hardware also developed from the very big corporate and government computers to the desktop computers, to the laptop computers, to the smartphones and tablet. Also, the applications is also developed from the custom applications to standalone applications to this handheld application and cloud-based applications. And also for the radio uses also, right? We have 4G today and we have Wi-Fi internet access. And also for this social media, it developed. Also for your games, it also developed from this 2D to 3D and to touchscreen. Okay, so for the first data processing stage, okay, we can say it may be some historians mark the 1980s at the beginning of the digital revolution, but engineers built the first digital computer, in fact, during the World War II, right, as our first questions. Okay. And computer were operated by these trained techniques at that time. It only operated by this well-trained person, not like today, everyone in the human life, right? Only well-trained people who can operate these computers to do some specific tasks. So back then, the processing component for computers were housed in closet-sized cabinets that didn't usually include a keyboard or display devices, okay? That not usually include such kind of devices. Okay, so we can see a figure here. It's a figure you can see here. Like, in fact, we do not have input and output screen for the input and output. We do not have such kind of display devices. We input such kind of paper with our data inside on this paper, and then the computer process, and then it outputs a lot of papers with the results printed on them. So at that time, the data processing is also based on input, processing, and output cycle. Okay, it's a cycle: input, processing, and output. Data goes into this computer and it is processed, and then it is output. And then it developed to the second stage, the personal computing. You can see here, the computer from the very beginning is like this, first stage, and then it developed like this. So the most popular uses for personal computers were, at that time they use it to process some words and gaming. And at that time, the internet was not open to the public use. So computing was not a social experience. It's standalone by yourself in your home. Okay. So the model for the second phase of the digital revolution, we call it personal computing. It is characterized by, it is small, right? This computer is much more smaller than the previous one. It is a standalone. Okay, it is not connected to the internet. So it is a small standalone computers powered by local software. Okay, local software. So local software refers to any software that is installed on the computer's hard drive. And then to the next stage is network computing. It's the third phase. Okay, and it is considered as the computers became networked, and when the internet is also open to the public use. So the computer is not standalone anymore. And the software is not only what you install in your own hardware drive. So a computer network, how we define it? It means it's a group of computers linked together to share data and resources. The internet is a global computer network originally developed as a military project and was then handed over to the NSF, the National Science Foundation of the America, for the research and academic use. Okay, so we talk about the first stage, which called data processing. Then to the second stage, which called personal computing. Then to the third stage, we call it network computing. Okay, and later we will talk about the fourth stage. Okay, so for the third phase, the network computing phase, you know what developed for the internet? The web developed. Okay, it is the short for World Wide Web. It is a collection of linked documents, graphics, and sounds that can be accessed over the internet. And referred to, we say it is from 1995 to 2010. So at that stage, the computing was characterized by the web, the email, the multiplayer games, the music downloads, and enormous software applications. Okay, such as Microsoft Office, the Norton's security suite, the Core Digital Studios. And then to the recently the cloud computing. That what you this era, you generation who experienced the internet or the computer as the cloud computing. That means a lot of applications or calculations were provided by the access to the information application, communication, storage over the internet. Okay, for example, that kind of network services like Facebook, LinkedIn, or the wikis, right? Or the media sharing, you use YouTube, something like that. We also have some blogging service like Google or Blogger, and also microblogging like Twitter or Weibo in China. So the convergence is the word, it's a keyword. We say it is quite important to the revolution because it created sophisticated mobile devices whose owners demand access to the same services available from full-size computers on their desks. So the social media are cloud-based applications designed for social interaction and consumer-generated content. It includes many popular services, right? And all this we said is in the cloud computing stage.